I thought the Texas State Fair was supposed to be one of the most famous fairs in the entire world. Well, explain this. Explain where everybody is then, because there is not a soul anywhere.
The Texas State Fair is empty. And when I say empty, I mean compared to past years, it's absolutely empty. One of America's biggest annual events, pulling millions every year, is now showing videos of bare walkways, zero lines, and food vendors standing around with nothing to do.
Wow.
$24 turkey legs, $16 admission, $12 sodas, prices that have completely priced out the working families who built this event's attendance for decades. This isn't about slow days or bad weather. This is what happens when you push costs so high that regular people can't afford to show up anymore. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Today we're watching what economic pressure looks like when it hits your bottom line.
Cars, like legit everything, and there's barely anybody people. I mean, just like it literally takes me like 2 minutes to walk up to something. I really thought like going into here, I was going to wait like 5 minutes to get some food. No, I'm the only person up there trying to get food pretty much anywhere, and that's like the corn dog stand and like the turkey legs, where that was one of the most famous like food places here. Like there's just nobody here. Like, yeah, it's a Friday. Not even that. Like it is a Friday. Where is everybody? It's the day before the game. Like it's not even like the game is at like noon. It's at 2:30 p.m. Like I get you're gonna be here all day hanging out, but still, like there's not a soul anywhere. Like I legit can walk anywhere and everywhere, do absolutely everything I want within an hour because there's no lines, there's no people. Like I don't know. I just thought this was supposed to be a very famous fair. That was supposed to be very hyped, but I don't know. Right now, it's very overhyped to me. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully I figure out why everybody loves it. But for right now, I'm not seeing that so far.
Walking straight to the front of every line at the Texas State Fair on a Friday before game day? That's not normal. That's a red flag wrapped in a corn dog. Look, empty venues don't lie. You can spin it however you want, but when someone can walk the entire fairground in an hour with zero wait times, something fundamental has broken in the business model. For anyone planning events or outings right now, this is your reality check. What used to work doesn't work anymore. What used to be packed isn't packed anymore. And if you're feeling like you're the only one cutting back on entertainment spending, clearly you're not. The smart play? Stop comparing your financial decisions to what people did in 2019 or even 2023. That economy is dead. This is a different game now, and the people who adjust fastest come out ahead. If your gut says this costs too much, trust it. Apparently, everyone else's gut is saying the same thing.
Hey, nobody went to the Texas State Fair. Nobody. Okay, I've lived in Texas for 50 fucking years. No, this has never, ever happened, ever. Remember when Big Tex burnt down to the ground? I do, and then they had to get a new Big Tex, and next year it was a whole big production because we had a new Big Tex. I do. Okay, there are videos floating around of the State Fair, of the Texas State Fair, and it is so fucking empty, it looks like the park hasn't opened yet. I'm in shock. I read some of the comments. One guy goes, yeah, $24 for a turkey leg. Not done. No, not gonna do it. $24 for a goddamn turkey leg? Seriously? And the State Fair people said, sure, $24 for a turkey leg sounds on point. Wow. The other comments were, everybody's fucking broke. Nobody can afford to do anything. No one can afford to go spend, a weekend with their family at the State Fair anymore. The State Fair was supposed to be the place that you could take kids to on the weekend. Nobody can afford it anymore.
Nobody can afford it anymore. 6 words, one truth. State fairs were supposed to be the affordable family option. That was the entire point. You didn't need money to have a good Saturday with your kids. It was democratic entertainment. But somewhere along the way, someone looked at captive audiences and thought, let's charge theme park prices without theme park quality. And now we're watching the consequences in real time. Here's what matters. If you've been cutting back on dining out, skipping events you used to attend, choosing free activities over paid ones, you're not being cheap. You're reading the room correctly. The families who stayed home aren't missing out. They're making adult decisions with their money. Meanwhile, the people still trying to maintain 2019 spending habits are quietly drowning in credit card debt. Being broke isn't shameful. Pretending you're not broke when you are, That's how you end up actually broke for years instead of months. The fair being empty is just proof that most people are finally being honest with themselves about what they can actually afford.
And then half of the comments say, it's Texas. We all look a certain way. We don't want icy conditions on our weekend getaway. And then about, I don't know, the other half of the comments are talking about, random pew-pewings and how Texas does nothing to stop them. And so we will no longer be going to any public venue thing like that.
Everybody broke. They say the Texas State Fair, the world's biggest state fair, is empty. And that state fair holds millions of people every single year. That's like my favorite thing to do since I've been living in Texas. Everybody broke.
3 people, 3 separate videos, same exact message, everybody's broke. This isn't anecdotal anymore, this is a pattern. And when multiple people are independently reaching the same conclusion about mass attendance, you're not looking at coincidence, you're looking at economic reality. The wealth gap isn't some abstract concept anymore. It's playing out in real time at state fairs across America. There's people who don't even notice prices, and there's people mentally calculating whether they can afford bottled water. Here's the practical piece. Discretionary spending dies first when budgets tighten, always. Entertainment, restaurants, non-essentials, gone. And they don't come back until people feel genuinely stable again, not just surviving. For business owners, your customers are broke, price accordingly, or watch them disappear. For individuals, stop financing fun. The people staying home aren't sad and missing out. They're being financially responsible, while everyone else is swiping cards they can't pay off. An empty fairground is actually just thousands of people making the same smart choice at the same time. That's not depressing. That's collective financial literacy finally kicking in.
What up, TikTok? I hope you're all having a good Sunday. The Texas State Fair has been empty over the last couple days, at least from what I've been reading and what I've been seeing from videos on this site. The reasons that are being given is, 1, it's gotten crazy expensive, but 2, a lot of the people who go to that state fair are Latinos and they don't want to have to deal with ICE. I've been to about 7 different state fairs, and Texas is on the radar. I think we're going to do Minneapolis next year, and Texas, maybe a few years down the road. It's sad, though. People can't even take their family out for a fun day and not worry about being harassed. Not to mention the fact that it's crazy expensive. I hope things get better soon.
Now add the safety factor. Latino families, historically huge attendees, staying home because they're worried about ICE checkpoints and harassment. Forget politics for a second. This is pure economics. When a massive chunk of your customer base feels unsafe attending, your revenue projections are fantasy. Perceived safety drives spending, period. Doesn't matter if the threat is real or exaggerated. If people feel unsafe, they don't show up, and they definitely don't spend money. This should have been predictable. You operate in a state where certain communities feel targeted. Your event historically relies on those communities. You can't act shocked when they stop coming. Practical lesson for everyone. Business decisions exist in political realities. You can't ignore the environment you're operating in and expect historical performance. For individuals and families, never let anyone guilt you for prioritizing safety and financial security over social expectations. Missing a fair because you don't feel safe or can't afford it isn't weakness. It's called protecting your family. The fairground being empty is just people making decisions based on their actual lived reality instead of how things should be. That's not failure, that's adaptation.
The iconic Texas State Fair is currently trending, but for all the wrong reasons. As we all know by now, this fair has been coming year after year. It's been a family function. Everybody goes, they have a great time, and it's always packed. The issue right now is that for this year, 2025, there's multiple videos that are trending right now where you can see the fair in the day or in the night pretty much completely empty. At first, I thought it was somebody that was trolling. You know, they went the first day or they went on a Monday when it was empty. But there's multiple days, different days. And then here's the thing. People that actually live close to the fair are also commenting saying that, yes, it is empty. And then on the days that it's full, it still looks kind of like empty compared to years that have passed. I would like to see a video Saturday, like around 5 through 8. If somebody could get a video and post that, I would like to see it, because that is technically prime time. And then if that is empty, that means that, yeah, it is empty. I'm not from Texas. I'm just going based on what I'm seeing and reviewing. But I would like to know. Let me know, guys, if you've been to the Texas State Fair. Is it packed or is it empty? Down below, I'll be reading all the comments. And like always, don't forget to follow for more viral news.
Hey, hey, we're here. Made it. Yep.
So why exactly was the Texas Fair so empty? Did it get canceled? Did we miss the cancellation notice? Share, repost, and comment if you were there and saw the whole thing go down.
Hey, it's Joe from Georgia. So the Texas State Fair is having pretty rough times during the first few days of their opening this year. No one's going, and it's because of the expense. The food's high, the admission's high, and there's nothing for free there. And they want to blame out, the state fair itself says, oh, it's just the first few days of it opening. It's normal, no one comes. But once everybody gets the excitement of the state fair being here in a few days, because we're here for 24 days, our attendance will be fine. Well, according to people who are going there, when you're paying $16 to get in to the fair, you're paying $12 for a drink, and we're talking about a soda. Their food prices have gone crazy, and they want to say everybody's fine. Let's be for real. We know why the costs are up, because the economy right now, with the cost of goods, is ridiculous. And it all comes back to the state of Texas, who never opens their eyes to anything.
The excuse of costs are up for everyone only works if you acknowledge your customers are dealing with the same pressure. Yes, vendors pay more for supplies. Yes, overhead is higher. But when you just pass 100% of increased costs to consumers who are also struggling, you can't act surprised when they stop buying. Basic economics: raise prices, demand drops, especially for non-essential purchases. And folks, a $24 turkey leg is the definition of non-essential. The fair had options: family value packs, discount days, early bird specials, strategies that acknowledge, hey, we know times are tough, here's how we're helping. Instead, premium pricing with no adjustments. Now they're dealing with empty grounds and making excuses. For anyone running a business, you can maintain margins and lose volume, or adjust margins to keep volume. What you can't do is pretend the economy hasn't changed. For individuals, just because something was affordable last year doesn't mean you're obligated to afford it this year. Costs change. Life changes. Your spending should change accordingly. That's not giving up. That's basic financial management. The fair kept 2019 pricing in a 2025 economy. Don't make the same mistake with your personal budget.
Took the family to the Texas State Fair on a Sunday. We had a great time. We didn't have to wait to buy the tickets. We didn't have to wait in line to get through the purse checkout. Walked right up, bought our tickets, and walked right in. There is people there. It is not as empty as they state, but it was a Sunday. But it's not like it has been in years past. What is different from the people that I spoke to and those who said hi, it was a pleasure meeting you. It's a lot more expensive than it used to be. Quality has gone down as well. One of the best things we ate, a machete. There's a little place in there selling a machete. If you know what a machete is, carne asada, cheese, tortilla, green salsa. It was decent. We all agreed that it was probably the best thing we ate there out of everything that we ate. And we were probably like 10 deep. So there was a lot of food that was bought. A corn dog. My wife's purpose for life is a corn dog from the fair. She was very disappointed. My younger daughter bought a corn dog different stand. Ate that corn dog, was throwing up within 10-15 minutes. Something was not right. Her body rejected it. She threw it up. She was fine the rest of the day. The pickled beer, pickled michelada, they gave that a thumbs up. All the other micheladas, don't worry about it. Don't even bother. Don't spend the money. Just get a regular beer. They use cardboard cups for a beer, so the temperature of your beer drops really quickly. Didn't mind that. Cost wise, it's a fair. It's gonna cost money. Everything costs money. But in the end, we had a really good time. We did have a lot of beers, so we walked around. It was kind of hot. The grandchildren had a great time. They loved it, and that was what was important. It was a beautiful day with the family, and we all had a good time. And we were all exhausted when we got home, and we all showered when we got home because it was hot. Laid our heads down, and we were out. So I give it a thumbs up for the experience. Would I ever go back to the Texas State Fair? No, because it's not the LA County Fair, which is bigger. They say Texas things are bigger. No, the LA County Fair is much bigger, and there's much more stuff to do. And the buildings in LA County at the fairgrounds are a lot nicer and newer than they are here. This is just a California perspective of the Texas State Fair. I did it. Will I do it again? No, thank you.
So, not many people are hitting up the Texas State Fair this year, and I think I know why. Let's be real. People are flat broke and scared to step out their doors. Why? Because folks are worried about getting snatched up by ICE or the cops while they're just trying to enjoy a damn corn dog. The rich elite, they really don't get it. When you take away people's money and then scare them into staying home, they're not going to be buying your overpriced crap. Like, who's going to spend their money at the fair when they stuck at home broke and terrified? And don't even get me started on Texas. The state fair organizers really thought this was going to be a good year. People ain't showing up because they know ICE and HSI are lurking outside ready to scoop anyone up. And let's not forget, the fair is crazy expensive. Look, the fair was crowded, sure, but it wasn't the usual chaos. People aren't out here doing what they used to do. The millionaires running this country are about to learn real quick. People got no money, no places to go, and no sense of safety. This is exactly what they wanted, right?
Bottom line, no money, no places to go, no sense of safety. That's not hyperbole. That's the actual situation for millions of working families right now. And when people can't afford basic leisure without going into debt, when they don't feel safe at public events, when the gap between surviving and thriving keeps widening, you get empty fairgrounds, you get closed businesses, you get economic stagnation. The organizers betting people will keep showing up no matter what. They're learning a hard lesson. Humans respond to incentives. When the cost-benefit doesn't work, people stay home. Simple math. Real talk for everyone watching. Your financial boundaries right now are completely valid. If you're saying no to things you used to say yes to, if you're cutting back and prioritizing stability over entertainment, you're not being boring or cheap, you're being smart. The fair being empty isn't a failure of the people who stayed home. It's a failure of the system to provide affordable, safe, accessible entertainment. And until something fundamentally changes, expect more empty venues wondering where their customers went. They didn't disappear. They just stopped pretending they could afford things they can't. That's not defeat, that's reality. You're watching economic stratification happen in real time. Here's the truth. Staying home to save money beats going into debt for overpriced carnival food, every single time. Your financial boundaries are valid. The person who said, "I can't afford this," is making a better choice than the person who swiped a credit card they can't pay off. The fair will either adapt or keep dealing with empty walkways. Either way, the people who stayed home aren't wrong. They're just being honest about their reality. Drop a comment. What normal things have you had to cut from your budget? How are you adapting? Like, share, and subscribe for more honest conversation about money and the economy we're actually living in, not the one we wish existed, because empty fairgrounds don't lie, and neither should we.